Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're stopping by for the first time, please be sure to subscribe, like, share and comment on this video. Don't forget to press the notification bell so you can be notified every time I drop a new video. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for always coming back. Today I'm here to talk about Qatar tax, and I'm sure if you are planning to relocate to Qatar, you also want to know that. Can't you think of it? Do we take back all the money we earn, or do we have to pay some tax? I know you've been wondering. Anyway, make sure you watch this video till the end. Without wasting time, let's jump into today's video. Come on over, let's pick up where we left off. So Qatar being one of the richest country and one of the countries that has a lot of expats working in this country. When I say expat, I mean people who come to Qatar to work here, or to earn a living and then maybe go back home to their country. There's a lot of them. In Qatar is where you can meet everyone from all over the world. Yeah, if you want to meet someone from the Philippines, some countries I didn't even know they exist, from Vietnam, like all Asian countries, African countries, Europe, US, name it, like globally. Come to the Middle East. You will meet people from all over. Anyways, I think by now I can say that I've traveled to all the countries, being that I've met people from all over the world in the Middle East. There's a lot of job opportunities in the Middle East, and Qatar is one of the best countries to live and work. If you're planning to relocate to Qatar, I'm sure you want to know if people pay tax, being that this country is very luxurious, it's very beautiful. Do we pay tax in Qatar? Of course we do. No, we don't. Not even a single penny. Like whatever you earn, you take it back home with you. Like everything you earn goes in your pocket. You don't have to pay for any tax in Qatar. But it all depends. It all depends. But there is tax in Qatar, of course. Whatever you earn is what you will bring back home, like full cash. I know in Kenya we pay tax, by the way, so we might be paying tax, like there is value added tax in some items. Most of the items, by the way, in Kenya and some part in the world, they even pay more tax. But then in Qatar, if you are earning 5,000 Qatar riyals, be sure that you will take back home the 5,000 Qatar riyal. That's the money that you will get. There is nothing like deduction of, I don't know, blah 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 blah, like hospital, I don't know what. No, we don't have that. In Qatar, you will only pay tax only when you have to. Yeah, there's some certain way you will find that you will pay tax when you want to. You're not forced. Whatever you go to eat in a restaurant, you pay the exact money. Whatever you see in the menu, that's the exact amount you will pay. If the food costs 50 riyals, you will pay 50 riyals. So it's up to you. If you feel like tipping the waitress or the waiter, it's up to you. Whatever you spend is what you will pay. If your bill is 50 riyal, you will pay 50 riyal. No something on top of it, like value added tax on it. Even in the supermarket, let's say for example this thing costs 10 riyal, it's just 10 riyal, no value added tax. But then there are some certain things that's why I was saying it depends with your lifestyle. Your lifestyle can make you pay tax in Qatar. There are some certain items in Qatar that you have to pay tax on. Items I'm talking about are cigarettes, alcohol, pork, and Red Bull. When I came to Qatar, a can of Red Bull was 3 riyals. But then now a can of Red Bull is 10 riyals. They didn't add the taxes like unknownly, no. They announced about it, and I am so happy that the tax is on things that are very harmful. And so it's up to you, because of course we all know, even though alcohol makes you feel relaxed and all that, but if you misuse alcohol, it will definitely be harmful to you. Things like alcohol, cigarettes, and pork, which is not supposed to be sell like anywhere. You cannot find pork. If you cannot just go to any supermarket and buy pork. I talked about that in my culture shock video, where I mentioned that alcohol and such things like pork sold in a place that you have to have a license for you to buy alcohol and buy pork. So you can't just go to a supermarket in Qatar and then, oh, a bottle of wine, oh, a bottle of beer. No, it doesn't happen like that. For you to purchase any alcohol, you have to go to a place called QDC, and that's where you get the tax, like where they will tax the alcohol you buy. So in Qatar, alcohol is taxed 50%. 50%. So that's why alcohol is very expensive in Qatar. Cigarette is very expensive, and something like pork is also expensive, and Red Bull is also expensive. When I came here, a packet of cigarette used to be 10 riyal, but since it was taxed by 50%, now it costs 22 riyal. It's more than what it used to cost before. It's a bit expensive for some people who smoke. They normally say it's a bit expensive. Alcohol as well. Imagine in Qatar, it's double the price. Like, it's even not double, like 3 or 4 times the price. So that's so expensive. That's the best thing, because the only tax things that you can avoid. I don't smoke, I don't drink that much. Like, I just drink most of the time when I just go out. And alcohol is very expensive, by the way. Like, even in the clubs, if you go to a club or a restaurant, alcohol are very expensive. You might find like you pay more on alcohol more than the food you're eating. So I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that, to be honest. I'm sure people who smoke, drink, and eat porks or something, they find it very hard. So those are the things that they will be taxed if you live in Qatar. And some other way that you can be taxed in Qatar is if you are doing some investment. And if you really want to invest in Qatar or have a business, will need to have a Qatari sponsor. Say for example, the Qatari person is also part of the business. You guys are investing together in this country. So if you're not from Qatar and you're investing with a local, then you'll end up paying more tax than the local. Might pay 5% and you might pay 10%. So if you're investing together, if you're investing in this country, then you might end up paying a tax. Another way that we end up paying tax in Qatar is if you have some imports in Qatar. I've seen that with, like, if you are shipping in things. If you have a business and you're shipping in things, you might end up paying 5% of that, doing export and import, something like that. People who come to Qatar to invest, they end up paying tax, but then it's not as much as the same tax you'll pay in a different country. That's the best thing. The taxes are not very high. Best thing is even the taxes are not on like basics things, like let's say food, things that we need. Like I said, if you go to a restaurant to eat, or if you go to a supermarket to buy something, if it's written this amount, that's the exact amount you will end up paying. There is no any value added tax on those items, and that's the best thing I like. Because in Kenya, we do pay tax on some items. When you go to Kenya and you buy something, you see there is that thing you always find on any item you buy in your country. I don't know where you are. I'm talking about Kenya because I'm from Kenya. If you go to a shop to buy maybe milk or something, let's say for example, there is always like a tag, like this product is taxed. You will not find that in Qatar. Whatever you see on the supermarket is the exact money you will pay. But if you go to the QDC to buy alcohol or cigarettes or something like that, you will see that value added tax on some items. Kenya, we normally do filed returns. We don't do that in Qatar. But there are some certain countries that I know people say that they normally pay tax, like their salary is being deducted even though they are working in the Middle East. For me, mine is not deducted. Anything I get is what I take back home. In Qatar, no income tax, There is no personal tax and no inheritance tax, no property tax, so you don't have to worry about that if you're planning to work in Qatar. And even the locals, they don't pay tax, by the way. That's a good thing, we don't pay tax. But then I feel like in as much that we don't pay tax, things are very expensive here, but it depends. Again, it depends on your lifestyle. Even though we don't pay tax, some things are very, very expensive. Like certain things are very expensive if I try to compare with Kenya if we are paying tax, but then here we don't pay tax, and then you realize some items are very, very expensive. You'll be like, it's the same thing as paying tax. But anyway, it's, to be honest, it's a good thing. It's a good thing. So if you've been wondering, like, if we pay taxes in Qatar, like, especially if the money that you get from your salary, like end month salary, if it's being taxed, no, it's not taxed. But there are some certain items that are being taxed in Qatar. Other than that, we don't pay tax. So I hope this video has been very, very helpful, and if you have any question, kindly make sure you put it on the comment section, and I hope to see you on my next one. Bye.